Colby White. This is for my physical education class. Grade level would be sixth grade, and the time needed for this would be 45 minutes to complete the task. The objective for this would be, I want the students to learn about how to burn calories, keep track of exercises, keep track of steps, and to also keep track of the BPI, which is beats per minute. And I would do that by using a Fitbit that calculates everything on the bottom here, and you can easily just click on the icon. And this project would be based on the students picking some exercises to get all these numbers up and raise them to, then they could go back to a computer and graph these numbers. Now, in a short couple of seconds, we're going to go over some exercises that you can do, that the students can use for this. And the important thing on this is it doesn't matter which exercise you choose out of these, or if you even use this, but you can use push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, anything to get the heart pumping, get it. It takes lots of movement for this project, and so it's important just to, whatever exercise you're doing, a lot of movement, a lot of steps to get the correct readings. Another thing I was going to discuss is resources they can use and we will use are the standards for teaching websites. There's a few exercise links I can go over later on in the video. And then the last important thing was the Fitbit. Now we are ready to go over some exercises from this video. As you can see here, this would be one example. You wouldn't get a whole lot of steps from this, but my idea would be we would stretch, and we would do some dynamic stretching and static stretching, which would help with some of the steps here that we would need for the reading. But this would just work a little bit of core, work some muscle groups, and it will help us with our data because it goes back to calories. This would burn some calories. I wouldn't be as hard on the steps right now because they're not obviously getting a whole lot of steps, but it's working your core, your triceps, your back, your legs. The importance is they're learning how to work out, and so after this we would work around it, but we would get their steps somehow. If it's jogging in place, for example, we could do that. This is just one example that they can use. The next one here shortly would be beast crawl, kind of another example. Does work core, it works a lot of core, so they're not getting a whole lot of steps here, but what I would have them do is just jog in place, or we would probably just do a couple laps to warm them up, and then I would have them do this because then they could test their BPI and they could track their calories that are being burned in this. And so right after each one of these that they choose, they present it kind of in a way that I am. They present the workout in front of them, and while they're doing it, they have a Fitbit that they're wearing, and the Fitbit just automatically calculates everything that they're doing, what they're burning, their steps, and so forth. And so after, they will get on a computer, and I will have a table set up on the computer and a graph, and they could calculate the data and all the data that they did. And they can't make up this data. And so here's an example of the third one, and it's another one kind of similar. We would have to do some type of dynamic, or static stretching, and so where we would have to have them run beforehand. I would have them run beforehand to get their steps counted, and then they could do this because it's still burning calories. Those were just 3 or 4 examples that they can choose. Another one that is popular are just basic push-ups and sit-ups, and what I'd have them do is we would do kind of a pacer test beforehand if they chose that from one of the examples, then do some push-ups and sit-ups, calculate it again on here, present it to the class, and they're not just presenting the numbers, they're presenting what they learned, what muscles were used. In each example, you're working different muscles, different muscle group, and so you have to explain to the class, to the group, to the presentation on what muscles you were hitting, and then you have to go to your readings. And your readings will not lie on here. If you didn't go 100%, if you didn't use full effort, then you will have to start over and you'll have no readings. And that's how the kid would not have success in the class is if you don't give your best. If you give your best, you're going to be burning calories, you're going to have your steps, and you're going to be able to read your BPI. And so all of it kind of works together in a sense. Another example I would have them do is they can present it to class using a PowerPoint. But the most success I think with this class would be is, for example, if they just do jumping jacks, or standing kind of run, for example, the best is just to attach the Fitbit to the arm right here, and they would just standing almost, or in a sense they're just moving, and I don't care if it's steps like this in a sense, and then they get the reading and then they graph it, and it's kind of a process, same thing over and over and over. Resources that are important to them will be standard for teaching, because that website will give us better information about exercising, better stuff of what is going on in the PE classroom in a sense. And the most important thing the students can do is they have to pick out a workout or exercise that they like to do, because if they don't like to do it, then they're not going to be excited about doing it. And so a sense that they may not have success, because if they don't understand the project and the muscle that it's hitting, or the area that it's hitting, they're not going to do the exercise correctly. That's how they can get hurt. They're not learning anything. And those are two of the most important things. And after this, they should be able to kind of have a better understanding what workouts work for them. Their reflection would be, what do I need to work on? What area, maybe what muscle group do I need to work harder in? Do I need to do more cardio, and so forth? And so